What's happening, folks? It's your man Patrick the Game Changer Jackson, along with the lovely Miss Artisa. And what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about Proud Puff cereals with the infamous Nick King in the building today.
Yes. We're going to be back in just a moment. And again, we appreciate y'all tuning in, man, for another Power Moves episode of a great brother that's doing some major things, not only in his own community, but it's making waves, man, across the nation.
Yes.
And it is phenomenal, man. So we want y'all to check out this commercial real quick. It's pretty dope. Now, y'all seen the commercial, you seen the box. You seen all that chocolatey goodness on the box, right? You seen it. It was
cereal lover and chocolate lover. That's we got like 1,000. Yes, you, honey. We got 1,000 cereals in our pantry.
You ain't got to pretend all the bit, okay? We got to make sure Proud Puffs is part of that cereal bunch, okay?
I know you will. I know it's coming. When the order comes in, I open up the box. I'm just going to place it right next to it.
Hey, it's going to be up in there, man. So without further ado, our brother, give some love to our brother, Nick King, the owner of Proud Puffs.
What's going on, people? How we feeling?
Feeling good, man. How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, blessed and highly favored, man. It's been an amazing day so far. It's been an amazing 5 months, man, and I'm here, man. I appreciate you guys having me on for sure.
Yes.
You said 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It definitely doesn't feel like it. But you know, when God moves things around, man, you just kind of have to learn how to, adjust to it. So yeah, no, it's been 5 months. Actually, last week officially made our 5th month, and it's been a blessing, man. We've just been rocking, and we got a lot more coming up soon.
So on your Instagram, it says, "Who is Nick King?" So tell us about who Nick King. The name alone, Nick King. Okay.
I had a lot of different ideas when just even really making my Instagram page, and that the tag name, "Who is Nick King," was supposed to be a whole nother marketing campaign for a whole nother business, by the way. But to myself, I said that is, I like to do things that start a conversation, and instead of just being like Nick King, I was like, that's boring. You know what I mean? It's who is Nick King? You know what I mean? So it gives someone the moment or the chance to ask that question, and hopefully, whether it's me giving them the answer or they find out some good information online, it gives them the time to do their research and find out who I am.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about who you are.
Man, dad first and foremost, creative entrepreneur, in the music, arts, fashion, and cereal, cereal. I gotta say where I am now. But I'm a former introvert. Now, somehow, right?
Coming out your comfort zone. We just had a talk about coming out your comfort zone.
Yes.
And the fact that you were killing these interviews, by the way, killing them. Being an introvert, you can't be an introvert on these interviews. Because you got to sell yourself. You got to talk. You got to have personality. Right. It's got to shine through. So how is that working out for you?
I think the biggest thing is, and I'll let other people refer to what my personality is like, but outside of that, I can only just be my authentic self.
Yeah.
So the conversations that I have, and I don't really look at them as interviews because I'm just answering a question. We're having a conversation. So the conversation that I'm having is just basically my life, my journey, what I'm going through, what I plan, how I feel. Emotionally, I'm emotionally invested as well in my brand and in the intentionality that I have built around my brand. So that part comes a little easier, comes a little natural. Being on TV for the first time was different. You know, they had a lot of prep work, and I was just like, I don't want to do any of that. Like, I just learned how to smile a couple of weeks ago, and y'all want me to do what?
Right.
But hey, but you're killing it. You're doing an awesome job.
I appreciate
you talked about it coming easy to you.
Mm-hmm.
What about it comes easy to you?
Which part? The brand or the
brand?
The brand really, I guess the biggest thing is the why. You know, I've always attributed things to anything that I do for the most part. It's like, why am I doing it? So knowing that I've always been about generational wealth my whole life, you know, building this out makes sense. Knowing that I always wanted to highlight, you know, Black representation and really move the culture forward, not just on a visibility standpoint, but also in a, you know, entrepreneurial standpoint, you know, like while building out the brand, these are all just little things that I'm checking off. So when people are like, how did you? And I'm like, these are all things that I know, like, these are things that I'm actually passionate about. So when building this brand and navigating around it and marketing and things like that, I'm just showing how I feel and what I actually think is important at the end of the day.
Nice. Now, earlier on a private conversation, you didn't think you was gonna go this route,
right?
Tell us about that.
Yeah. You know, I guess the easiest way to say it is, you know, God has plans, and you know, you can try to make whatever plans you want, but if that's not the reason why He has you here, you're gonna wake up one day and end up making cereal. You know, that's just how it happened. You know, I've always thought I was going to be mainly in fashion. That's like one of the things I enjoy the most, creating, you know, capsule collections and pieces, statement pieces and things like that. I've always been into art as well, and music. This is my whole like music vibe that I created during the quarantine. But I'm blessed to be where I am now. And, you know, once I literally like had that instant thought and idea, I was like, wow, God gave me something amazing, and I haven't let off of it since.
Right. And so that feeling that you got and the intuition on how to bring it to light.
Yeah.
What was that turning point, and when you was like, I'm just all in, I'm going for it?
That's just the way my brain works. It's really hard to explain, but anything that I do, it's just like, all right, do you think it's a good idea? And I'll say to myself, yeah, let's go. You know,
that's me.
It's a great way to live. It's a little dangerous, but you know, it is a great way to live, because it's like, you know, you don't hold yourself back from really moving forward. You know, speaking of, you know, where I thought I was, literally, if you go into my living room at home, I built out, I moved everything. There's literally, it looks like a showroom. There's literally like brick foam on my walls. I have a illuminated sign of the brand that I was doing. I have racks all around my living room. Like, when my brain gets there and goes, oh, this is what we're doing, it's time to execute. And then we just start pieces around.
Yes, love it. Wow. Now, I was following your Instagram post for Weep, and I saw that in March 10th, you hit 3,000 boxes.
Yes. That was definitely one of the defining moments to where I was like, wow, I'm really making an impact. I think fast forward now, we're probably a little bit over 5,000. And you know, we gotta clap that up. It's amazing. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
With this man, you're definitely gonna reach your goals.
No, man, it's been great, and I know that it would have been a bigger impact if we had certain structures in play, which we can discuss later. But you know, there's hurdles to every business. But I already see the future of where this is going, so I'm excited either way.
Okay.
Now you said that you're a dad, right? And so, what was the reaction? You know, what has been the reaction with them being a part of this process with you?
I mean, my son's a teenager. He's probably somewhere running around the house now. He's cool as ever could be. So I didn't really, you know, I again, if you have followed my story, like I didn't tell anybody while I was putting the brand together. So this was months.
Moved in silence.
Yes, literally, like following that actual, like, you don't need anyone else's energy on this. The only people that you need is those who are helping you design it, or a part of the actual company. Usually I get excited and I want to get on social media and be like, hey guys, I'm working on this. But for this one, I was like, one, people would think I'm a crazy person, but second, I really just wanted to keep everyone else's energy off of it and really just go with with my own. So the day that I showed my family, they were like super excited. I called my mom and my sisters and everybody were at home, and I showed them the box on FaceTime because we're still during quarantine. So that's on my Instagram somewhere. So they were excited. And I went upstairs and kind of showed my son. I'm like, hey man, I got a surprise for you. You know what I mean? And he's like, what's up? I'm like, look what I did. And he was like, Proud Puffs. That's cool. And I was
super laid back up. Super laid.
I was like, I was like, started a whole cereal brand, like what I just did here, like, you know what I mean?
All the work and sacrifice that went in.
No, like months.
Leave you a legacy, and that's all I get. Right,
you got a face on this box here. This is your face. Nothing. But I'm pretty sure everybody's excited as a whole, and I'm more or less excited to represent my family and represent the culture all together.
Now on the box, right? On the box, you just stated that your son is on the box as well. So the people that you have on the actual
boxes, yep,
the box itself, what inspired you to do so? You know what I mean? Who were the people on that inspired you to do that?
That just pretty much goes into my legacy. And they always pick this really bad picture. Whoever took that picture, we're gonna fight.
You know what? I'm gonna be on your side.
Hey, it was there, and it was the one with the front folk. And you got a grip of people on here. So these are all people that are close to you, family members and stuff, right?
Yes, yeah. So it's my son, my sisters, my nieces, and my nephew. So that's just the legacy, tying into the whole legacy concept. I was just like, you know what? Who am I paving the way for? Who do I want to be a part of the brand? So I had to put my
living up to that king.
Yes,
that's right. And what was because you said that before that the actual concept and like the logo and everything, what was the process with the route that you took?
I mean, that was a pretty quick process, everything for the most part, even down to I just happen to like purple, but a lot of people said, like, black is royalty and royalty purple, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I did hear that at some point, but I wanted the box to be vibrant, I wanted it to be bright, and I thought purple was a really good color. And then just designing the logo out. I had a really good graphic designer that I happened to bump into on a whim. I went through. If I showed you guys, oh my goodness, if I showed you guys what the first 3 cereal boxes look like, I'm gonna document that at some point, and I'll see everybody. But Lord. We were not even anywhere close to respect to everybody that did help. I thank you. I appreciate your time and effort, but they
wasn't meeting the mark, huh?
The shade room would have had a field day.
Boy. Oh man, you would have been famous for something totally different.
It would have been bad. It would have been bad. I promise you that, man. But again, God's blessing bumped me into this person randomly, while doing a quick Google search. We've been rocking ever since, and we put this amazing cover art together.
And now what city are you in?
I'm in Connecticut.
You're in Connecticut, right?
Yeah. I'm isolated over here. Nothing really much going on. I mean, I do have to give credit. We do have a lot of amazing creatives. Connecticut is a really small, a part that people don't really look at for, musicians and arts and things like that. But we have a lot of talent, and we're so close to New York. You know what I mean? So I look forward to represent for Connecticut as well. So shout out to everybody from CT.
So now you're coming from a small place, so you bringing a big noise, bringing some notoriety, to the city of being kind of a pioneer.
Yeah.
Of a small place that most people don't really want to recognize, because of course you're right next to New York,
right.
New York, and so you're able to bring a global brand to, you know, a small city? How does that make you feel?
Man, there's nothing better than hometown love. You know, like I said, I've done amazing press, you know, but when my town that I'm in, Darien, when my town, you know, covered me for the first time, you know what I mean? Like, and I was in the newspaper for something positive, like that was amazing. You know what I mean? When I made the news in Connecticut, I think I made the news maybe 3 days after I made the announcement in December. Like that hometown love feels completely different. So I love that I'm a part of, you know, putting Connecticut on. Connecticut, like I said, has a lot of amazing creatives and people that are in arts and music and fashion, etc. So I'm glad to be another piece of that puzzle.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So you talked earlier about that, you know, there's some things going on behind the scenes, you know, with the love and exclusive, you know.
Yeah. It's you know, so I mean a couple of things, you know, as anybody can guess, you know, being the first, you know, Black-owned cereal company in the US and, you know, infiltrating a 100-year-old industry isn't the easiest thing to do. You know, there's a lot of moving pieces. I'm coming into it, you know, saying that I want, you know, represent the culture, and you know, have Black representation. Representation is a part of my mission statement, you know. So coming in, just being, you know, disruptive and, you know, making a lot of noise. You know, there's been a lot of folks that have been like, who is this and what is going on? And, you know what I mean? Like, why are people covering him? Why is he getting so much press? So, you know, there's definitely been a lot of behind the scenes conversation. You know, I've thankfully it's been a little while since I've had it, but possibly because I went and I stopped doing press for about a month just so I could focus on the business. But I tell you the hate mail started coming in abundances. My emails were going off with some of the craziest, crazy. I mean, you gotta factor in
for making cereal.
There is the easiest way I can say it. There's another part of the world that isn't ready to have or hear about this conversation. And I'm going to document everything. I've always been about, you know, documenting my journey. So I have the behind the scenes pretty much from the inception of the brand. So, you know, I'll be showing people all the emails that I've received and, you know, the things that they're calling me and why this is such an issue. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of amazing people. These are the people that I focus on. There's a lot of amazing people that understand why I'm doing this and is excited about it and wants to support, right?
Yeah.
There's the other side of the world that is not ready to hear about Black ownership, that is not ready to see Black representation, even if it's on a cereal box. The sheer idea, they're like, he has the audacity, you know what I mean, to do this. And I'm okay with it, to be honest. Like if I have to wear this one, you know, I'm okay with it. I think the biggest piece that has been the biggest uphill battle is manufacturing. Again, old industries and me coming in. If you notice on it was the original shape of the cereal was a little chocolate empowerment fist. That was the original shape of the cereal. Like I was like, granted, it was added on last minute, but I was like, I want to be different. I wanted to go with the message and everything.
Yes.
And they weren't having it.
I love it. I love that last minute change. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, does the actual cereal, is it a fist?
So the actual original molds that we made in as we were going to start, like I said, one box at a time in a commercial kitchen, those were little chocolate fists. They're actually on my Instagram page for anybody that wants to check it out. But when dealing with these manufacturers, we're going through the opening conversation, telling them what we're doing. And then I'm like, hey, can you guys make shapes? And like, of course, dragons, zebras, lions, rabbits, whatever you want. And I'm like, perfect. I want this. And then it's like, ooh, that might be too hard. That looks a little complex. Strange. But, you know, again.
A dragon in a fist, huh?
Right, exactly.
A dragon wasn't complex?
My point. But that is why I'm documenting the journey so people can see. So in the interim time, so I guess technically this is an exclusive, depends on when this drops. We decided, you know what, we can't hold the company up much longer, just based off of the shape of the cereal. Like the shape of the cereal, as much as I love it, it isn't the heart of the message. The heart of the message is representation and Black ownership. So we're going to have to adjust the shape of the cereal in the meantime until we can put ourselves in position to own our own factories and, you know, produce the things the way we want to. So
yes.
That's where we are. That's the journey.
The fact that you had a hurdle and a blockage in front of you and you did not let that stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is amazing in itself. Because most people are like, well, it goes with this. Okay, well, forget it.
Right.
It didn't.
that is by design. What if people want to stop you, they're going to place obstacles in front of you. You know, so the idea was to hit that and go, sorry guys, I just can't do it. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm just like, cool, like a hurdle, what you said. We jump over it, we go around it and go, all right, you know what? I love the shape of the cereal. However, you know, that isn't the end of the brand. The brand is in the boxing. The brand is in the messaging.
Yep.
Let's find a different shape and get this thing rocking. So, you know, present day, that's where we are. You know, we're having some phone calls. We're not even bringing up the shape of the cereal. We're just like, I need this. And we're getting definitely a better response. So we're going to build it out that way until we put ourselves in better position.
Nice. I want to talk a little bit more on that, because we had a talk last time about, you know, us feeling like, oh, fake, and that's not really who we are. And sometimes we have to have a larger viewpoint, a bigger picture than just us.
Yes.
And so there are some people out there that would have stopped and said, you know, well, that's not what I want. That's not what I'm trying to do. Like you said, that the branding is in the message. The message. So to see that didn't stop you and you didn't have that mentality set is just amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now you also brought, you know, the representation part, and then also the ownership part, the representation and ownership. What do you seek to accomplish with that, especially it being a cereal that's going to be an impression on young minds?
Yeah. You know, the biggest piece, like you said, the ownership, really thinking about it, going, you know what, it's 2021 now, and at least staying at a time in 2020, being the first Black owned cereal company, to me, even when I Googled it the night of the idea, I'm thinking, all right, so it has to exist. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, we're at that point, 2020. I'm like, it has to be somewhere out there. So to find out there was nothing out there was a big surprise for me, but exciting. You know what I mean? Like that just started triggering my creative brain. I was like, oh, I got something. Time to make a mark and really, you know, get back to the excellence. We really think, as far as our culture, we have come from, you know, a lot of the things that are making the world go around, we have been inventors of, you know, and or we have been the first of so many important things that make the world go around. So this is just really like one of those, like, you know, time to get back to our roots and being creative and really stepping in front and saying, you know what, don't get me wrong, I have friends that are in music, fashion, and film, and those are in sports, and those are great avenues. But again, we can also be creative in so many different ways. We just have to open the door up and knock that door off the hinges, really, and let everybody in and say, listen, it's time to really start creating and getting back to our roots of what we can do.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely see you kind of going down this path, and especially in the cereal world, we've seen people, especially from like the hip hop community, like Master P, getting into noodles and chips and stuff like that. You know, bringing culture to the actual a brand or something that we actually purchase on a regular basis. Have you, you know, thought about any type of connection with any of those people, or have any of them even reached out? Because this is the first of its kind. I would think that, you know, some of those individuals would kind of maybe lend a hand or give you some type of guidance or anything. Have you got any of that?
I'm going to answer this as honestly as possible. So early on, I did start reaching out to some of those folks that are already there, and I haven't got much of a response. I'm just going to say they're busy, and you know what I mean. I'll leave it there. But you know, I do respect everybody that is in that space. I think probably somewhere around that. I think Master P does have Hootie Hoos, which is a cereal product that he released, which is awesome. And I'm excited for anybody in that CPG, that grocery store space, because that's what we need. You know, so regardless if it's something that, you know, we make a connection now, we make a connection down the road. We have to be conscious of being able to educate each other. Because if I watched his interview. I use Master P as an example. I watched a lot of his interviews, and he talks about it. He's like, how hard it actually is to get in a grocery store. And if Master P's having these issues, you have to understand what kind of issues I'm probably having. Right. Now, I've also learned some amazing things to where, once we get this manufacturing sorted out, that being in grocery stores are a lot easier. Now, I can also attribute that and give that to Master P if he needs it. You know what I mean? But these are why these connections are important, and not just outside of making cereal. Like futurely, I plan to be, a hub and an incubator and an accelerator program for future Black founders that want to do this, because I need somebody to know, like, this is what I went through. These are the hurdles that are going to be in play, and you have to structure your business this way, because I didn't have anybody to teach me while I was coming up. And I just want to change that for anybody else that follows after me.
And I saw, and is that the reason why you're and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the company is called Legacy
Cereal Company. Yep.
Yeah. And so that would kind of fall under
definitely
that whole brand of educating people that are coming up, and especially you be able to get over a lot of these hurdles and be able to expand it.
Right.
And I mean, the possibilities go on, the partnership. I mean, it's phenomenal, man.
It's the potential is endless. It's really putting the strategic pieces in place to really execute it. Today, actually, we launched our Legacy Cereal HBCU scholarship program, and Wes, I'm gonna pop that up. I didn't want to, when getting the idea, I didn't want to wait. I was like, oh, you know what? We're still new. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to give them. But we went over our budget, and I said, well, what can we do? You know what I mean? What can we allocate
somewhere?
Right. And that's what we're doing. So we're doing $500 a piece. So we're doing picking 2 students. We're giving them $500 scholarship. It starts today, May 12th. And you can go to proudpuffcereal.com and just fill out the information for the scholarship.
I like how the small steps you're taking, giving something,
right?
Even when you're in this new structure of building,
right?
It starts with small steps. Right. All Fortune 500 companies started small.
Right. Definitely. And, I also want to be the leader in things that I believe that we should be focused on, especially as a company. Obviously HBCU students or HBCU colleges and university as a whole, they don't get the representation and the funding that they deserve. So, if someone sees like a Kellogg's or a General Mills, if you see this and you're like, oh man, this new guy just launched his company and he's already giving scholarships, like we should do that. And I made that challenge in my challenge video to say, I challenge all big corporations, either to match what I'm currently putting up, so just really creating that energy and trying to get people to focus on the things that the world should be focused on in general.
Yeah.
I think that's super dope, man, because, it's been a wave that's kind of been happening. Yeah, some of the top recruits now going to HBCUs and some of the revamping that's going on with HBCUs and more, especially African Americans, being proud of who they are, where they come from, and you're definitely part of that that movement in trying to put, while folk eating cereal, you can look at yourself and be proud of the people you got.
Definitely. That's key, man. I know we go through our trials and tribulations. You can kind of see that all spill out in the media. And that's one of the things that I really wanted to break. I said to myself, I know there's like a negative stigma around doing good things and taping it and talking about it, but at the end of the day, the way I want to build my brand around it is like, you guys always want to see or do see the negative stuff, but you want us to hide the good stuff. There's no balance. You know what I'm saying? Like we do need to start seeing the good things in the world. So I'm not going to be shy. I'm not going to be bashful about, what I want to do for, our culture and the community, because people need to see that somebody's out there really putting in that work and really, really building it from a positive place. And, this is just documented history. We started from, nothing, and, we're still out there. We gave away 100 boxes of food to the community that need it. We've been working on a scholarship program. We're continuously going to do the same thing to where when we get those millions and billions of dollars, you know what I mean, we just start really building on those programs, and, you know, the numbers come out a lot bigger than where we started.
Yeah, I love it.
Love it. Super love it, man.
I appreciate you.
So tell the folks how they can reach you, man. You first we're gonna go down the line. You have the HBCU. They can go to
ProudPuffCereal.com. That's the easiest way to find me and connect to me in any different way. ProudPuffCereal.com has the links to pretty much everything: our emails, our social media platforms. My executive assistant, she checks that all the time. Worst place to reach me mostly is my DMs. Those are usually terrible or convoluted. I check them every once in a while, but it's just too much craziness going on. So emailing me directly, man. But, you know, I'm excited. You know, Proud Puffs has been coined the cereal for the culture. So, you know, we're going to continue to put on for the culture. Yes, we're going to continue to put on for the culture and really represent the right way. And, you know, I have to thank everybody that has been patient with us as we've been, you know, circling and finding different manufacturers and trying to find the right company to help us through, because I know how that is. You kind of, you know, you pre-order, you're excited, you want your cereal, and then, you know, Nick pops up like, hey guys, I'm sorry, you know, you're kind of like, you know, but
we need to get you on Shark Tank with Damon Dash, because he got the connections to the manufacturer.
Yeah, listen, I've done the Shark Tank pitch room, and it was actually probably one of the greatest things that I've ever done. It was super exciting, but, you know, who knows? Maybe something will happen with that soon. So stay tuned.
Cool, man, cool. And so people can pre-order, right? They can go to ProudPuffCereal.com to pre-order.
Correct.
The Proud Puff cereal.
Yes.
And support it while they're waiting on the manufacturing and the little nick and, you know, nannies that you guys are going through, but being able to push the opportunity forward,
right,
for it to continue to come into fruition.
Correct. The biggest thing for any brand, especially Black-owned founders, if you do the numbers, they're not hidden, or they haven't been hidden for the last couple of years. For venture capitalists, those who actually get funding, Black founders usually get, I think we're a little bit less than 2%. They try to box us in with people of color to kind of like boost that percentage up. But to think that we get less than 2% of funding is a clear example of, unfortunately, why dreams die. We come up with amazing ideas and then we can't get funding for it. So what I decided to do was really put the product back in the hands of the people. We started crowdfunding during Black History Month in February on fundblackfounders.com, which is a black crowdfunding platform, and it goes with intentionality, man. Everything that I've done to really build up this brand is intentionality. I use Fund Black Founders instead of Kickstarter because I wanted to amplify a Black platform. You know, yes, Kickstarter is a bigger business, but I knew that because what I'm doing is new and exciting, it was going to bring more energy, you know, towards that platform. Yes. When I did my trademark, I used a Black trademark attorney. I was like, oh, Black woman, trademark attorney, prices are pretty comparable, if not pretty close to where everybody else's numbers are. I was like, intentionality. I want to lead with that. Same thing with building out my assistant and everything that's going to be the heart of my brand. You know, of course, we want a diverse staff and we might mix it up a little bit, but you'll always see in my messaging, you'll always see in my brand where my intentionality lies. And that's what I'm excited about most.
That's awesome, man. So we appreciate you coming on, my man. Thank you for blessing the Power Move 365 family.
Yes.
Man, you've been awesome, man. Any last words for the people?
Yes. Well, one, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys putting me in front of your family and, you know what I mean, rocking on your platform. Most important, what you guys are doing is super important because people have to see and hear stories like this. So really, really utilizing your platform to amplify Black voices or all voices, especially when it comes to something positive, is super big. So first and foremost, I have to say that. But, you know, shout out to the Proud Puff family, everybody that's been rocking with us from inception. We're coming. We got a lot more amazing things. I promise you, it's crazy. I wish I could say everything that's happening behind the scenes, but I am working. These bags under my eyes didn't come from nowhere. Ain't no sleep.
Self-care.
Listen, I've been working on my skincare routine to kind of get these masked a little bit. Unfortunately, this camera doesn't have a filter, so I can't hide behind it anymore. So, but I'm working, I promise, and you know we're coming bigger and better, and we have so much amazing things. So just be on the lookout.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you for coming on.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Check out this commercial one last time before we go.
Hey, family, man. Again, we want to thank Nick for coming on. Thank you guys for tuning in one last time, man. It's Patrick the Game Changer Jackson with the lovely Miss Artisa. Make sure that you go and check us out on all the platforms, Power Moves 365 on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook. Make sure y'all go and check us out on all of those platforms. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We out.